Hello and welcome to a mindful moment. I'm Justin Epstein, author of the top-selling book Super You and minister of the Unity Center of New York City. I wanted to share with you something Timothy Galway shared with me, and he's recounted it in a few of his books as well. It's a story about a really great woman golfer, a member of the LPGA a number of years ago, who had contacted him and said, will you help me with my putting? She said, I put it in my own words basically. She said, when I start getting close, it happens in a major championship that on the last few holes, I get nervous and they affect my hands and I lose my feel a little bit. So Tim asked her some questions. He asked her so what are the rules of golf? She said, well, getting the ball in the hole in as few strokes as possible. And he said, why do you play golf? And she said, I play golf because of the beautiful environment, enjoying the beautiful environment. Also, I love expressing my God-given ability, and also I love competition. And he said, well, I don't see your hands shaking at all. Your putting hands, they're not shaking. So tell me some other reasons that you play. And she, I'm now I'm going to read from the book here. She said she thought for quite a while, and she said, well, uh, she said, I owe something to golf. Golf has made me who I am today. Somebody. And I have many fans, and they count on me to do well. I don't want to let them down. So then he asked her, so how are your putting hands now? And she said, trembling a bit. She said, there's a lot at stake here, and getting into the Hall of Fame means a lot to me. If she just could win a couple more tournaments, she'd get into the Hall of Fame. So he was particularly interested in her statement, God has made me who I am today. So he said to her, if it is golf, or golf has made me who, yeah, that's a good one. God has made me who I am today. If it's golf that made you someone, then golf can make you no one again, I remarked, pointing out the obvious. Now I can understand why your hands might be shaking when you're in contention for a title. Someday your ability to compete will wane, and then what happens to who you are? So that is a very important insight for her, was an important insight for her. She felt like getting a name for herself, winning championships, making money. She had come up from a rather challenging childhood and living circumstances, and now was well known. She was rich, and she felt like she was a somebody. No wonder all the pressure she felt when she was in a tournament. And he pointed out to her that if you're basing your value and your worth on what you're doing, no wonder you have so much pressure in your life. No wonder your hands start shaking. If you feel responsible for how other people feel, first of all, the only thing she could really control, why was she playing golf? For those three elegant reasons she expressed. But when she started worrying about how other people were feeling about her, she started worrying about how they were going to be affected by whether she won or lost. Now, and even much more importantly, that her value, her worth, her importance was somehow affected by who she was as a golfer. Now there was an enormous sense of pressure on her. And so Once she discovered that, he shared with me that she went on to win a tournament in a couple of weeks. And um, she went and I think she went and jumped into the lake at the end of the tournament. And it became a tradition in that particular tournament. I can't tell you who it was, but anyway, it was a well-known golfer. The same is true for us, right? Where is our worth? Where is our value? If it's based on some external circumstance, like a position or a title, or even on what other people think about us, then rather than our own personal motivations, our own living according to guidance, living to make a difference on the planet somehow, depending on where our worth comes from, it will be affected by the external changes in the world. So why not find a sense of value and worth based on something that doesn't change when the outer changes? I mean, after all, eventually she's not going to be a champion golfer, right? I mean, young people won't know who she is. I remember her because I was a young kid playing golf in those days. But you know what? Her name is in a book somewhere about being in the Hall of Fame. That's fine. But what happens when she started to get older and to get forgotten and no longer a champion in the modern golf world? Does that mean she's nobody? So that's something I think that's important for our own stability. It's to realize that we're spiritual beings and our worth really is inherent. It's not dependent on titles and what other people think and all of that other stuff. The main thing is to know spirit, to know the presence, and to be centered in that presence, and to seek to let it unfold in our life. That's where our value is. It's not based on an external thing at all. So I hope that was helpful for you. It inspired me. I wanted to share that with you. And I look forward to seeing you for another mindful moment. See you next time. Thank you for joining me for a mindful moment. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more mindful moments as they go live. Click above for a list of previous mindful moments to enjoy on your own time, anytime.